Okay, it's fine. Hi. So, good afternoon. Welcome to Spellsisters Hotline, where we answer the questions that you send in. We have gotten a lot of questions in the past few days, so we put them in this like awesome cowboy hat, right? When I wear it, it looks cool. So here's what's gonna happen. We have like all of these questions in here, and the answers that we give are going to be personalized to the people who have asked the question, but a lot of the questions are super relatable. So some of these answers might go for like some people who have like a similar kind of thing. And hi. And if you do have the same kind of question, feel free to send it in again, because we are going to do this again. We have gotten like a lot of questions, so we're about to do this like a lot.
We're gonna for real do this a lot. So this will be a new thing. So feel free, if for some reason something jogs your memory and you're like, oh my god, I have a question, like feel free to send those in. We'll just keep piling those up, okay?
And then
let's
the spell lines are open.
The spell lines are open, guys, for a whole hour. So we gotta get to it.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah.
Alright. First dibs, honor.
This one.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so our first question is from N in Indianapolis, and they are asking, is he the right one? Okay.
Let's see here.
Let's take a little peek-see.
We're just going to take a little...
We're going to use our cards, use our brains, use our...
If you guys have never had a reading from us, this is what we do. We just both answer the same question.
Okay. Well, right away, I have two cards here that are indicating that there might be something you don't know about this person that would change your interpretation or your feelings about them. It almost seems like they're kind of secretive and they don't tell you everything right away. So he may be the right person for you, but they have something that you don't know that might change your feelings about even asking that question.
Yeah, and so my first poll that I had was like the 9 of Pentacles. I put it back because I was like, that doesn't answer, and then she got those, and it sure fucking does. Because what happens with the 9 of Pentacles is that lady is like so independent. It's like a single lady who has worked for everything that she has, and it's all hers. Like nobody else can take it. You got a lot of options out there. This one is not like the only one, and maybe they're not the right one. So what I have to say to you is,
maybe it's time to think about other options.
I feel like there's another one already coming up for you that like you maybe have kind of put on the back burner or like thought wasn't serious. Sorry, there's something happening outside.
Lots of alarms.
You can hear it. There's an alarm.
There's an alarm. Sound the alarm. This is possibly not right for you at this time.
I mean, I don't think he's the one.
He might just be something that is a one for right now, you know? I do feel like this is a departure for you. Maybe this is a person you haven't dated before.
Kind of, yeah, 6 cop cars. What's up? I feel like maybe there's some kind of feeling of obligation toward this person too. Like,
yeah. And you feel like you want to like them more than you actually do.
Keep your options open.
Yeah, because it seems like something's going through a transition right now, and maybe they're going through a transformation, and this is kind of like them playing the field. They're trying to figure out what they want. But at this point, I don't think it's right yet, okay?
He might be somebody that's right later, but I feel like there's other options right now that might be better for you.
You might like them better.
Let's go on.
Let's do another one.
Okay. So, let's see here.
Oops, sorry.
This one says, am I going to get into a grad program on the first try?
Good question. Let's try it. Very specific. That's good. I think that's good for these kind of questions too, because then we can really explore the answer. It looks like we have initial... Okay, here's what's up. Just from the get-go, we have Ten of Swords, then I see Knight of Pentacles, and Judgment. Here's my thought. I think you might apply to multiple schools, and the first one is a rejection letter, but the next one is something very promising that would force you to have to make a very serious decision. This is a crossroads in your life. This would be almost like a huge change. What are you getting, Kelly?
Oh, I have like kind of a different vibe where I feel like what's happening is that like you're gonna have to work really hard for it, but I have Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, and Six of Wands, which says to me that I feel like maybe you're in a creative field. If you're in a creative field or do something kind of like writing or something like that, like I feel like this is probably a really good sign, because Six of Wands is like a celebration kind of feeling, like in your zone, like
right.
Somebody is like really telling you like you did a good job and you're kind of like feeling like elevated, I guess. So I feel like what's happening in my reading is that like it's showing you've worked really hard for it, and you maybe even had to like give up something else that you wanted to do to like even pursue it, and that kind of bodes well for you, I think. I don't know if that means like first try, because I do see some like guarded, like definitely lots of hard working vibes, and maybe even like reevaluating.
That's you.
Even like trying to see like
This
check
is
us out, same card.
Same vibes.
Like maybe even like reevaluating and seeing if it's like even actually the thing you want to do. Like the thing you apply for might not be the thing you want, and maybe maybe you work really hard for it and then realize when it's like over and done that like you didn't actually want to do it, and you maybe could get in and be like, fuck this actually.
There's a feeling of fuck this energy, almost like it may be something where you reject something at the same time that you feel like it rejects you, but I do see eventual success like within the same month. So whenever you hear back about your first school or one of your schools, I do think that it's going to force you to make a change that maybe you were not expecting to make right away.
I kind of think like maybe your first choice is not really the one that you actually, like maybe you think you want it right now, and then you like get some space from it and realize like it's not actually as...
Right. It's not, it's like you're being called to a different path, and this one seems more promising, almost like there's something else that is calling to you. It's a different kind of program.
Okay, so like to sum it up, probably yes, you will get in. Maybe not on the first try,
right?
But you might get in and be like, I've changed my mind.
Right. There's a transition here.
There could be something that's easier.
Something that is something you've wanted to do for a while, or could make you more money.
Okay.
Okay, let's move
next.
on. Okay.
Your turn.
Yay. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. This question is, should I pursue a different job over the summer or stick this out another year? Okay. Let's see. Let's find out.
Let's find out. My initial vibe, my thought is, I don't like the feeling of sticking anything out. If it sucks now, what's to say that it's gonna not suck later?
Okay, so right away, I pulled 2 cards, one for the first choice and then the one for the second choice. And it looks like, should I pursue a different job? It's suggesting that the 6 of Cups is coming up here. This is saying that you might go back to something that you've done before, that is actually something you're more comfortable with, or you know people there, or you like it better. Something where you feel at home. Also, maybe possibly working with children, working with other people that are that need you, innocent people that need protection. I think that pursuing another job is going to be something that you're going to be pulled back to, if that makes sense. Like that's going to be on your mind a lot. Like keep revisiting that. Every month you don't do it, you're going to be like, maybe I should leave, maybe I should go back. And then I do see for the other choice, which is like stick this out another year, I feel like there's that's something that is yet to be determined, and I think it's based on whether you go back to this other job or you find another job. It's almost like you won't leave unless you know there's something there already.
And And okay, so I'm seeing the next card in the in the progression
From the
is Seven
six.
of Cups,
Right.
which is like starting to realize that you have a lot of options
Yeah.
and like kind of the world is your oyster, and like it's a lot of optimism, excitement, like almost like an anything could happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially because I have the Fool here too. The Fool is like new beginnings, like taking risks, doing something like completely
Something totally different
yeah.
for you.
Well, guess the fuck what? Because I have Ace of
Two
Pentacles and Ace of Cups, which makes me think that like you're probably gonna get an offer
yeah, and that would change everything.
and especially with Haley's reading with the Six of Cups. I mean Six of Cups.
Okay.
Like I feel like there's maybe something that's more of like a passion project or something that feels more like in alignment with your long-term goals, something that feels more like true to your personality.
Right. You want to do it when you're a kid or something.
Especially yeah. I do think like there's something about it that is like feels too good to be true, but it is true. So I don't know. I don't like the idea of sticking something out if it's not good. So I feel like there's something better, and you just have to make the decision whether or not like, is it bad? Does it feel bad to be there? Then I would leave.
Yeah. Yeah. This thing with staying is that it's gonna leave you in limbo. You're gonna feel like constantly pulled back to questioning whether this is right. I do think the High Priestess is showing that it's like building character to stay in your job, but like for the long term, like not leaving for the summer or over the summer. But I think it's going to be something where you feel like held back, or like there's something overarching the situation that is making you feel restricted.
Okay, I say like pursuing a different job over the summer. I'm just gonna say I get the sense like you're a teacher or something, like pursuing a different job over the summer. Yes, do it, because it might be that passion project, that thing, and it doesn't mean that you can't go back if you don't like it. It doesn't work out.
Right.
Boom.
Boom.
All right. Let us see here.
Next question.
All right. I feel like this is a really good question. So, why can I not get past this hump, mountain, of always being a downright bitch to my partner? I love them dearly, so none of this makes sense to me. I feel like super relatable question, because I feel like even like when you love somebody a lot, you like have this kind of like license to be a bitch to them.
Right, because you love them, they love you. There's a feeling of trust. Yeah, and you're real with them. So let's just get an idea of what's causing this in your life. Okay. 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 What is the question?
It's right here. Sorry.
No, sorry. I just always forgot.
Sorry.
Thanks.
We need
Technical
to open the
difficulties.
question again. That's not the right one.
That's okay. Okay.
We're gonna find it.
We'll
It's
find
fine.
it. It's fine.
So the question was, why can't I stop being a bitch to the person that I love, basically?
Yeah. So, why questions are a little bit hard with tarot, but we can kind of figure out what's going on here based on, I think you feel trapped in your life right now. It seems like you're being pulled to a different path, but you feel like if you do leave, it's going to destroy everything. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I get the sense that like while you love them and like you have a life with this person, like maybe there's a crusty feeling, like they're not contributing the same way you are, or it's like getting old, it's kind of boring, it's like maybe a little bit shallow or something, like it doesn't feel like they go as deep as you do. And there's part of you that's like kind of being called to like speak up, speak your truth, like
you're
get
an Ace of Swords, which
say no to what doesn't feel good.
Yeah, you're feeling kind of cutting. What you're saying is true, and that's why you say it, but you're also accidentally hurting people's feelings in the process, and that's totally normal. I think that is your way of getting the truth out, like expressing yourself, because you are feeling a little bit trapped in the relationship right now. And then with the Page of Wands, we have somebody who's coming up with like almost like getting excited about new things, or maybe even being attracted to someone else and having that feel like almost like a feeling of guilt or like pressure.
But
from
also
inside.
like a healing kind of energy from like having that kind of attraction to somebody. It's like a feeling of like I still got it, because like the star's coming up in my reading and it's saying like you're kind of like getting something out of, and I'm not to say that like there is another person,
No,
but
not
like
yet,
maybe the
necessarily.
fact that you are even having this kind of like, I don't even know that you have the question of like I want to move on, like it's not there yet. It's like you have this history with somebody, maybe even have kids, like have this like family, you know, like there's not like an issue of whether or not like you're doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just that like maybe there's something else. I just get the sense that like this person's not putting in what you are to the relationship.
And I wonder if you've broken up before, if there's that feeling of like, I love them very much, but maybe I'm not in love right now, and there's still that honesty. You want to be honest about that. I think it's also part of you feeling locked in place in your life right now. That could be something that's coming up, like just a feeling of like maybe your job is starting to feel like a dead end, or your family is like you have to take care of sick parents, or something where you're like heavy and you are stuck in a position and you can't. You don't have free agency. And maybe this is your way of like calling the shots, saying your truth, like talking honestly, being angry when you feel like being angry because you feel like you trust them. I do think you're just innocent about it. I don't think you're truly trying to hurt this person. I think that they even see it as like, okay, she's just a little like wound up right now. They can kind of explain your behavior too. They're like, this is childlike. There's just like a temper tantrum almost, like, or a feeling of like, okay, I'm letting it out. But I think this person really loves you back, and you feel secure with them because they are
they'll like kind of do anything for you. They're like
They won't-
always
yeah, they're
trying
not
to
gonna
win
react.
you over, which feels good.
Yeah.
Like it feels like if somebody's always trying to win you over, it's a confidence boost.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're elevated, and I think this is like a really like relatable question that probably has a different answer for every person, and I don't think there's anything wrong with wondering if there's something else out there for you. I don't think that like that's really an issue for the person that asked this question, but it is coming up as like there's other things to look forward to. Like maybe it's not about relationship stuff.
Yeah, and maybe you're waiting for something else to change in your life right now in other areas, and this is kind of your way of venting, you know, and maybe the venting is making you feel like, oh, I'm hurting someone, but at the same time I can't stop doing it. I think that you're just saying your truth. I think that they give you a free pass, so you don't have to beat yourself up over it so much, and they love you anyway. I also think that you come through and apologize every time, so they know that it isn't meaning that it's all on them.
I have to say one more thing about this. So I keep seeing the moon as I'm shuffling, and what I feel like what that's saying is that like there's maybe like an unknown, there's not really an answer to this question. Like, why am I being a bitch to the person that I love and that I know loves me?
Right.
I feel like it's probably just human nature to, when you get secure, like lash out at the person you feel most secure with.
Totally. And when I see the moon, I think about someone with a history of anxiety or depression who is just trying to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Oh, sorry. I have the hat. Sorry. Okay. Well, okay, this card says, what can I do if I'm not comfortable doing readings for certain family members or friends?
I don't gotta pull a card. Listen, if I don't feel comfortable doing a reading for anybody, I'm not doing it. I don't care if they're paying me or not. if it's somebody I love or can't stand, if I feel uncomfortable to do a reading, if somebody's drunk, if somebody's acting like an asshole and trying to like challenge us or whatever, like I'm not doing a reading for somebody that I don't feel comfortable for, because that reading's not going to be beneficial for them or me. I feel like, what can I do if I'm not comfortable? Just don't do it. Say no. You have to say no.
Walking away is a big one here.
Do what it's
Your
like,
feelings.
yeah, the tax that comes from you doing a reading is not worth it for you to do a reading for somebody that doesn't feel good for you to do it for.
Even
Does
if
that
it
make sense?
Feels like embarrassing to have to say that in the moment, like, hey, I don't think I can do this for you just because we're so close or because something is going on.
I would just say to them, I don't do readings for people that I'm close with.
Yeah, and I think that you're anxious about this. It almost seems like you pick up on feelings from other people that they don't know they have, and maybe you want to talk about things that they're like in denial about too. I think that's a good thing to notice, and when you get that feeling that maybe that's the kind of person that you can't do a reading for, and just immediately almost like give their money back or let it go, let it fly. So the Six of
Don't give their
Pentacles
money
is
back.
Okay, the
That
Six
was-
of Pentacles is just, that's my opinion, is just the idea that if somebody is not able to hear your message, that's okay. Like,
Then
let
you
it fly.
have done emotional labor anyway,
Yeah.
and you should continue to keep the money.
But so anyway, the Six of Pentacles is showing up here as like almost like forgiving yourself for having to disappoint the person in the moment. Okay. So it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily feel like you have to give a big explanation, but just maybe be like, I have this thing now, this policy now that I've been reading that I feel like it's too intimate, or it gets me into a space where I'm doing something almost violent or invasive when I know things about you already and I just can't do it, you know? Something like not a big explanation, just like, this is my policy now, I'm sorry.
I think that like a lot of people don't realize about doing readings is that it is super intimate. It is like very,
it's not a party trick all the time.
No, it's not like
No.
it's fun. It's not like this cool, you're gonna hear like exactly what you want to hear.
No.
It's
And you know that
also
if you're
very
reading for people.
difficult for the person who's doing the reading to tell people that. So if, say it's my mom that wants this reading for me, I just don't want to tell my mom like something, especially
Same.
like when you do
I
a
don't
reading
either.
for your mom or somebody that you're super close with, like
Sure.
what are you gonna find out about that person that you don't want to know as the
we
reader?
both don't want to know it, so maybe we can both agree
It's
that
not
this
like-
is not for us to do
Listen,
together.
Mom, like you don't want me to know this,
Right?
It's
like
not
it's like telepathy.
it's
Like, do
not-
you want me to read your
It's
thoughts?
not like a party
No.
trick
No.
that you just turn on and turn off.
Mm-mm.
You do
No
it
way.
or don't. You can do it for whoever you want, but you know,
Okay.
let's move on. Let's do it.
Let's do a different card.
That one was like really tucked in. Let's see
That was
here.
That's an interesting question.
Okay. It's how do I unsubscribe from hating myself?
Okay.
Probably also really related or relatable, but hard to answer.
One of those things that, but maybe there's a way to exit the situation. Okay. Yeah, it seems like, oh my god, it's a very similar card to last time and I shuffled. I think you're at a crossroads right now in your life. The Judgment card is coming up as the base card here, suggesting that you're being asked to kind of ask for help, and it's up to you whether you take it. It's almost like that, I don't know, it's that fucking thing where like they're like, I'm waiting for God to help me, I'm waiting for God to help me, but like the flood keeps rising and they keep pushing off like, oh, there's a helicopter coming, no, God's gonna help me. It's like it's your time now. People keep trying to help you, and I think that it's something that's really hard for you to even allow yourself to accept, because I think you're trapped in this hole. And I always see this card as a card of waking up from a nightmare that isn't true. So it feels like you, like the self-hate goes deep, but it's actually something that is totally rectifiable.
Yeah. And maybe like it is something that goes really deep. It might be something that you're like super used to. It might be like a deeper issue of like depression or anxiety or some kind of mood disorder kind of thing that like hold you back in a way, but that doesn't mean that it has to hold you back forever.
Right.
Because I think that there is a way for you to move on from the situation by being truthful to yourself about what you want, and maybe even like with somebody else. Like maybe you're feeling this way because there's somebody else in the situation that is like putting you down or taking too much from you. You maybe need to like speak up and say, I'm not cool with the situation.
Maybe there is this feeling, like just like Kelly was saying with the Ace of Swords too, sometimes when we don't respect ourselves, we end up hating ourselves because we're not talking about it, we're not speaking up in the moment. And it's like there are these moments that kind of pass you by, and you're like, I could have said what I really wanted to say there, or
and then it
myself.
Feels like somebody else doesn't respect you because you didn't respect yourself and speak up for you. That doesn't mean that maybe they don't, but they think. Maybe they don't, but maybe they do. Maybe they think that you are okay with how they're treating you or whatever. Like you could have spoken up for yourself, but you didn't. That doesn't mean that it's your fault either.
Yeah, it almost seems like you need a helping hand here. Maybe somebody who's been in your position before that knows what you're going through. So maybe a therapist type person or a friend who's been through a similar situation. It seems like this is stemming like a lifelong chronic pattern or something that is like really perking up right now because of some new aggravation. And it seems like maybe somebody else could help you understand where they were when they went through this, or what they did to climb out of that pit. And it seems like you need to leave behind something that you've been avoiding, almost like you've been avoiding leaving it because it would kind of shake the whole bedrock of your life.
I feel like when we say things like we hate ourselves, I don't think we really do. I feel like we're just in shitty situations that I don't think you really hate yourself. I feel like what's happening is that you feel like you can't leave something behind.
Or you're feeling helpless, or you made a mistake that you're really worried about still. I do see a lot of worry here, and you're at a crossroads. This is a big moment in your life, and the reason you're asking, I think, is because you do want help and you do want to make a change in your life, but you might need somebody to come in to be assistance to you in order for you to break free of this like web, or like what's the word, like a whirlpool. You're kind of in a cycle that won't end until you exit through another person, kind of giving you a little bit of advice. Okay, sorry, we're gonna move on, but
that's like a deeper.
Yeah, that's a deep question, and that's a really important question. So thank you for asking it. Yeah, and we hope you feel better soon. Okay. What do you do when your best friend dumps you via Instagram DM?
Do they really sound like a best friend?
They sound like they're dick, but let's kind of go into that. What do you do? What's the next step?
You sound cooler than they are.
Yeah, already, like,
off.
Getting dumped through a post-it or a DM means you're the cool one and they're scared of you. But first of all, they can't even do it in person. Okay.
What the hell? It's the same card again.
I'm going to just keep thinking about this.
Okay, I feel like maybe there's somebody that's watching right now that we keep having the same kind of card come through for. And
yeah, maybe they need to hear this message most of all. But ultimately, your suffering is very important and special and unique, but that does not mean your feelings are facts about the situation. Just because you were destroyed by it doesn't mean that that person has any right to take from you your own solace, your own self-confidence, self-worth. I feel like a lot of people are being kept up at night right now by just their thoughts, because we keep coming up with very similar cards.
It's Pisces season.
It is Pisces season. There's a lot of dreams that are probably pretty active for people, but also there's a lot of feelings that are coming out of the ether. The Pisces in the 12th house is all about the secrets you keep from yourself. There's self-undoing, all the self-worth issues that kind of snag us when we want success, but we don't go for it. And I think that this is another reflection of that. So what do you do when your best friend dumps you via Instagram DM? Well, I think you've cried about it. I'll be honest, you probably have. You've probably been suffering. And then you start to pull back.
Like, it sucks. It's a shitty thing to have happen to you. It sucks.
It sucks, and it also feels like you deserve it. But again, I want to remind people that my interpretation of the Nine of Swords is something that feels like it's true, but it's not, and it terrifies you. So it's that talking yourself into this as if it's something to be worried about.
Yeah, and I feel like this is maybe a relationship that like maybe has needed to die for a long time, because these two cards coming up together is kind of like you're starting to say, no, maybe you even like did this, and maybe that's why they broke up with you.
Maybe you
started to pull back and say, actually, like this relationship kind of looks dead to me on the.
Or it's toxic.
Like,
and it's hurting me, or you hurt my feelings, and I just would like to talk to you about that. And then they're like, nope, I won't feel that way. I won't talk about this with you.
So the death card's coming up, and I feel like what that says is, in this situation, like, I feel like maybe you knew, but if you didn't know, now you do. Like, this relationship is not really what you thought it was to begin with. Like, it's kind of like a husk of a relationship. Like, that person's not really the person they were when you became best friends with them. Like, maybe they were, like, you know, I think when you have a friend that, like, changes a lot and you don't realize that they've changed, like, it doesn't feel like they're a fake friend. It feels like they're the same person, but they're really not the same person anymore, and you've probably, like, been friends with them for a long time. But the death card says that you just need to let it go, because this is actually really good for you in a way that in the moment feels like it's terrible. It doesn't feel like it's good for you. It really hurts. It keeps you up at night. It hurts your feelings. Like, you realize what you've lost, but what you've gained by losing that is like a lot of other, like, self-worth stuff that, like, is not here yet. You know, it's like it takes time for you to realize that you actually deserve better.
Yeah, and I wonder if there are other friends that are coming out of the woodwork that you didn't know you had that are feeling more real now that this one has ended. It's like silence for a second, and then all of a sudden you're able to see the things that are still standing, all the people that do care about you in a real way and would never do something like that to you. I think this has had you, like, feeling torn about moving on. Maybe you've been hoping to, like, talk to this person, maybe even trying to reach out and feeling like damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think when you start to move on, what's going to change is that you're initially going to feel like bittersweet about everything, but you're also going to reach out again to a new person. This person might be somewhat younger than you, but they're a little bit more sensitive than this person, and they would never do something like that to you.
They're more kind.
They're kind, and there's somebody who's more matching you on your level, like on your, like, firing on all cylinders. Like, this other person that has ended things with you, they were probably going down a different road, maybe even a downward spiral. And this other person that's coming into your life has nothing but good things to say to you, and they want to share.
And sometimes when you're in that, like, when somebody that you're hanging out with a lot is in that kind of, like, downward spiral, you can't see it from inside. So maybe that's why it had to happen like this, so you could get out without getting involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next
Sorry
question.
that happened to you, because that's not very
sucks.
nice. Alright, so the next question is, how do I know that the career path I'm committing to is right for me?
Okay.
God,
Those are intense, good questions. So, that's always something that I feel like I ask myself that all the time too. Like, I don't know, like, how do I know?
And I'm kind of like, none of them are right for me.
But are they? Yeah, or all of them are. Okay, well, here's how you know.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay, this is very clear. Okay, so it seems like the way you know is because the devil is coming up. There are some things that really drain us and feel toxic, and these are careers that we do for money, or we do for acclaim, something that gets us something on the outside but doesn't nourish us on the inside. And I think that you already know the answer to this question because I'm seeing the Ten of Swords here, which is somebody who's suffering and has admitted it to themselves that this is not a good situation, this is toxic, or this is painful.
I mean, that's why you even ask a question like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I do see, like, with the devil, usually it's something that has ensnared us because we feel like we can't get out of it. We've invested so much time, so much money, so much interest, and we can't just walk away. So it feels like damning to us. We are bound to it. And it might be something that needs to die in order for you to be reborn into a different role. I really think that this is a toxic career path. I don't know exactly what it is. It can even be something like a do-gooding career. Like I'm a nurse, like, and sometimes it can feel very...
I kind of feel like maybe the idea of a career path is not right for you.
That's a
because I'm seeing like this feeling of needing to do something, doing the thing that like you feel like obligated to do, like what's right. But I also have like a lot of stress cards coming up, especially in both of our readings. A lot of stress cards are coming up. I feel like the fact that you're even asking this question is like speaks volumes because we all, if you are asking a question like, how do I know if this relationship is right for me, or how do I know if this job is right for me, then you're doubting it. And the doubt is the thing that like, why, I mean,
coming up for you right now. It wants to be...
It's like, it's not really a question, you know the answer already.
It wants to be seen, and then you're showing up with like the Hierophant here, which is another similar vein of the devil, which is just feeling like you have to do something, feeling like it's the right career for you because you chose it a long time ago, your parents did. And then I see the Five of Pentacles, and I wonder about somebody who maybe feels stuck in it because if they leave, they're afraid they're going to be broke, or they're afraid that they won't have any friendships. Like, it's like there's something tying you here that actually is a scarcity mentality and makes you feel more negative than you would feel in a different place or in a different opportunity.
And I also have like,
it's
I feel
exciting.
like I don't know if there has been like some other offer or something, but it feels like maybe you have some kind of like a line on something, like you have some kind of like idea to do something else, and like it looks like something that's more fulfilling, and I've already said this, but like somebody else had a reading that said something like about a passion project. I don't know if there's something that you have been wanting to do for a long time that you didn't think would pay off, but it looks like with the Knight of Pentacles, like if you work really hard, anything can pay off,
right?
Like,
even if you don't think it's a traditionally money-maker type of job, it seems like this is more up your alley as passion-wise, and there's money on the table that maybe you thought you'd have to take a pay cut for, but in this position, it would not be a pay cut. It would be something
maybe
that
that's
is
why
more
these
stable.
stress cards are coming up. It's like you don't believe that it's real.
Could it be possible?
But it is real. It's solid. There is like a king showing up here that's like willing to. It's like leadership that like they're putting something on the line for you, whether or not you like feel like it's real, whether or not you accept it, it doesn't really matter. That's the match to this. Like you match this position like perfectly.
I think you're a healer type. I think that that's what you are geared toward, and you can take this skill anywhere you want to. This is a talent, and it can change and mutate to whatever it needs to be. So you can do it in such a way that you're like a massage therapist. You can do this in a way that you are like taking care of children, or you could be a doctor. It just changes based on what you need, what people need from you. You are a fulfiller of needs. You are a helper. Okay, so I think you need to find the right fit for you, and they've been taking advantage of you a little bit because they know that you're gonna stay.
I feel like maybe like I keep thinking like a message you need to hear is that you don't have to have a career path to be successful.
It doesn't need to follow the rules.
The end.
Yeah. The end. Okay.
So next question. We'll do the next one.
Thank you. Next. Okay. Okay. Ugh, why am I struggling at life? What roadblocks am I facing right now? Okay.
All right.
Good question.
Let's find out.
Let's discover your roadblocks.
Let us find out.
Okay. 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 I think you're chomping off more than you can chew right now. Whoa, you keep coming up with the same cards in both of our spreads. Knight of Swords. It's almost like you're trying to make something work, like, and bang your head against the wall to make it happen, and it feels like you're impatient to make it happen. You come to a place where you have to make a decision, and you're like, I need to do this, but how do I get it all done?
I have a thought because I know who asked this question, and I'm sorry to do this, but I feel like you, the person who asked this question, I know that you have had this come up a couple times, the Judgment card, where it's like you're being called to do something different, but you keep trying to do the same thing and make it work. You keep trying to make the day job fit you, like you're trying to make the thing you're trying to make the thing that you know doesn't work for you work. It's like trying to put on it's like, you guys, one time I had this pair of Wrangler jeans, right? let's talk about
Let's be real right now.
Okay, so I had this pair of Wranglers that like was supposed to be my size, and I kept trying to make them work, and they did not fucking work. I couldn't make it like pull up past my gigantic ass.
Shut up.
It's a good ass.
It's a good gigantic ass.
It is.
Me too.
It's gigantic.
Same.
But whatever. So, like, these jeans that were supposed to fit me just didn't. I kept I break my nails trying to put. Look, I'm not trying to break my nail.
But she has perfect nails.
I'm talking to you, the person that answered this question.
Yeah.
Girl. Don't keep trying to put on the same pair of Wrangler jeans that you know don't fit. Try to put on the real size that really fits you. You've been called to do this.
You're being called out.
You've been called to do the thing, and you know you got to do the thing. And you think you don't have time, girl, but you got to make time. I'm telling you, nobody ever has time. No, there is no time. What the fuck is time? Like, do you think I have time to sit here on Instagram for an hour? There's a lot of shit I need to do right now, but I'm going to fuck around and play on Instagram. I think you need to do the thing that you know you need to do immediately.
Does she have to go back to school?
No.
She
needs to start her own business.
Okay. Yeah,
she's already gone to school.
Have to do by yourself.
Girl, don't go back to school.
No, you have to do this by yourself. Whatever it is, it feels like you're alone, and that's why you've been avoiding it.
I think you're waiting on somebody else.
Yeah.
And the other person's not going to take initiative until you do.
Daddy needs help. So you need
daddy.
You need to go in search of that. Of becoming your own dad here.
You're being the Knight of Swords, and you need to become the King of Swords.
Which is a little bit more relaxing, but also doing the hard work of having to be accountable for all your actions and be responsible for everything. So I think this has been something you've known, and I think this is a path you don't know yet.
You know those Wranglers don't fit.
Yeah.
We gotta find new ones.
And then this is more like, okay, I'm accepting a nice pair of, I don't even know, like
other Wranglers.
Okay, another pair of
other Wranglers.
Maybe a different, okay, yeah, other Wrangler. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
You know what you did.
There you go.
Next. I love you, but you gotta start your own business. Alright. This question says, I feel like I'm at a fork in the road, even started therapy. They want to know, will I get the info I need to choose? I think what they're asking is, will they get the info they need to choose at the fork? You know about the fork in the road? Does that make sense?
From therapy? Let's think about
I feel like I'm at a fork in the road.
Yeah.
I think it's like, will I get the info I need to choose the right path?
Yes. Okay. So here's the info. Here's the real deal, is that you're about to find out that there's some kind of pattern that's running through your life that is not helping you, and it's something that you feel like you have to do because you've always done it. But it doesn't mean that is the way you have to do it. This is usually an addictive pattern. It can be codependency. I definitely think about somebody who forces themselves to give to another person because they think it's what's best for the relationship, and really it ends up hurting them and torturing them. I think you need to go it alone. And I think that you're going to find this out in therapy or by yourself when you are exploring these questions. Right now you're dissatisfied with the way things are, and it's time for you to go off on your own spiritual journey and ask the right questions for yourself about where you really want to end up. Because right now it's going in a tailspin.
So I also have this Four of Cups
Oh,
card
no.
and King of Pentacles.
Okay.
So what I think this is saying that you will get the right info if you listen to your intuition. Do the work, do your self work, go within, whatever that means to you. Maybe you get answers like epiphanies, like when you meditate. Maybe you don't meditate and you just get epiphanies when you take a bath. I don't know, maybe it happens when you're cooking, but whatever it is for you, it's asking you to do that thing, because the King of Pentacles is somebody who is like a quester, like very hardworking, somebody who is like they came, they saw, they conquered a little bit. Like you're gonna get the info you need, but you're not gonna get there without work. And that fork in the road, like the Wheel of Fortune's coming up here too, that's saying like, yeah, there is gonna be that kind of like spark of a moment where it does make sense, it is clear, but you have to, like, it doesn't happen instantly or without any work.
You still have to make the choice to follow that path. Like, so you're at a fork in the road, you still have to make the choice to take the high road and not the low road, okay?
It's like anything, like when you start meditating or whatever, if you've ever meditated, you know that the first time you meditate is not the time that, like, you actually meditate. Like, you could meditate for years and, like, not get anything out of it ever, because it's not an instant thing. I feel like what that's saying to you is, like, there's no, maybe it's that there is no answer. There is no info that you need. And with the Hermit, it's like, you know, what's that? Do less. Do nothing. Do less. I don't remember what it's from, but it's from something. It just came into my mind. You'll know, apparently.
Yeah, it keeps coming through King of Wands, too, and the Six of Cups, and I just wonder about maybe there's someone from your past that keeps pulling you back that is, again, low road.
And the info
road.
you need from that is, I'll just tell you right now, don't go to the low road.
Don't go to the past. Go to the high road. Go to the future. Be selfish. If
Go
it
to the
takes it.
future.
If it takes that. Go to the future. Cool.
It's the only way.
High five. Okay, wait. Oh, yeah. Cool. All right. Let's see. Moving on. Okay. Will Jay change his mind? Will he act on it?
If he ain't acted on it already, I got it.
You got beef with
beef with Jay, because if he didn't act on it already, I got news for you. The man is lazy.
Oh, lazy.
Will he
Dude.
change his mind? Let's find out. Will he act on it?
Oh, okay. Some jumpers. We have some jumpers. Okay, we have 2 cups. This is an intense, intimate connection. And then we have 8 of Pentacles, meaning it's a lot of work to have a relationship with this person.
This person continues to come up for you because will he change his mind? He's gonna pretend, or he thinks he's gonna change his mind. He wants to change his mind, but this person.
Okay, so
this person has an agenda.
I feel like with the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, I think it's talking about somebody who's really comfortable with the way things are already in a relationship, and any kind of change, they're like, let's just not mess up a good thing.
You know
and
why?
Really they have control.
You know why?
So,
because you do whatever they ask, and you don't get anything out of it. You bend to them. You show up for them all the time. You're always there.
Right.
And they don't have to give you anything. They love things how they are.
And you end up doing all the work, I think, in this relationship. And what ends up happening is you get something out of it, but only as much as you put in. If you stop working, what happens? And that's where,
My advice is to say, be Ray Charles to the bullshit. Say no.
Ray Charles
fucking
to the bullshit, dude.
turn your back on a situation that is crusty. This motherfucker is crusty.
I think this person is so used to the way things are that they don't even know. They don't even know how to change anything. It's like they don't want to change because they get what their needs met the way that things are. So it's kind of like the milk for free. And I'm not one of those girls who
wrapped
says
around
that
their
stuff,
finger.
But for whatever reason, this person, they might have Taurus energy, whatever it is. There's just a vibe of, I'm not gonna like try too hard because this feels safe to me. I feel like it's good the way it is. I'm not gonna try to go deeper when that gives me more vulnerability. Like, that makes me more vulnerable.
I don't need to be vulnerable.
No.
You're vulnerable.
Yeah, so I would suggest that it's something that you pull back from vulnerability-wise. Like, you just drop the rope. you're pulling on the rope, you're trying really hard, just drop the rope and see what happens, and see if they pick up the rope.
And if they don't, then there's your answer, because will he act on it? I would love to say yes.
I want that,
but I feel like we've talked about like
I
how
feel like it's hard for them to try when they feel like it's going to happen. You're going to reach out anyway. You know what I mean?
Generally, like, this is just not just for the person who asked this question. Generally, if you feel like you need to change somebody's mind, you're already on the wrong track, because like, why do you need to convince somebody to like you
when you're amazing?
Why do you need they're not
should be,
fucking tight. They're not nice people.
If they can't, well, maybe they just don't even know.
You should like respect yourself enough to not let somebody.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
So if somebody else is having trouble like acting on their own feelings and love for you, I feel like that's not enough. If you're already giving, they should be giving back, and there's no amount of schooling to make that happen unless you almost like treat them like a child and just, you know, take away their time with you, take away their phone, basically set a boundary, put something against you, and then figure out if they will come back after you set that boundary.
And then when they do, if they do they come back in a big enough way that like is the way, the acting on it, the thing that you actually would like see and appreciate, is it like enough for you?
Right.
Like, I feel like there's more and you deserve more if you feel like there's somebody that you need to convince to like show up for you. You need to convince somebody to show up for you, then like that person is not worthy of you convincing them.
Right. And like my mom always says, she's a Pisces and she's very wise, and she always says, do not accept anything less than a grand gesture, because if they're not offering you that in the beginning, it's only going to get worse later on. So I think that's
goodbye.
Bye.
I don't want it if it ain't
free and awesome. 100. Cool.
Alright, let's go with on. Go forth.
We shall go with.
Okay. Should I wait 3 to 5 months for this work situation?
Whoa, that's a lot of months.
Very specific.
Is this a Virgo or a Taurus? Okay, I appreciate your ability to plan. Let's see if that is true. So 3 to 5 months.
Maybe it's like.
Maybe it is the 3 to. Okay, looks like you're building something and you're in the process right now. You're at a minor setback. And it might take that long. It might take a little bit of mobilization. You might have to move to make this happen too. So it might be a long-term plan that is ultimately requiring you to make a change of residence, a change of job, change of place, and get to a place where you're in more control of your life. But ultimately, it looks like it is about to happen. I think you're going to have a minor setback, which might push these dates back to where your plans are, like within the next 5 months. I think you're sitting on it right now. And waiting. What's up? What?
Same card.
You're sitting on it because you are not quite ready yet. It feels like you are not. You're telling us you're not ready because you're telling us you want to wait 3 to 5 months. I think you're right. If you're not ready, you're not ready.
Like
you're waiting.
All of these cards are waiting
building
cards.
and waiting. Build and wait.
So I'm gonna say yes because this is a success card. The chariot is
final
like
success, but requiring movement and requiring change that might take a while. Okay.
The Magician is saying that you get to make the situation what you want it to be. So I feel like, especially with the Chariot, the Chariot is like one of the only cards that has like an immediate success outcome. It's like,
which is good.
Yeah. So I mean, no question. Yes.
But yes, I think that if that is your plan, I think you're going to make that plan happen, because I think you are feeling like you need more time. You are feeling like you're sitting on or needing a rest before you can start this change. You might also be dealing with a temporary setback, even though you are still building. It's like chutes and ladders right now for you. And I think that 3 to 5 months might be a good pace for you.
Maybe if it hasn't happened in 5 months, then we reconsider. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's when you need a full reading.
Maybe that's when it comes to us.
I say yes, wait, because it seems like it's gonna become what you want it and need it to be.
Yeah. think
Yay.
you're wise about this and it's smart. Okay.
You know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing. You
Taurus
don't need
or
us.
Virgo.
You don't need Taurus or Virgo, whoever
Whatever.
you are. Whatever you
Capricorn.
are, you're waiting. You're waiting in a smart way.
You have a plan.
You have a plan, and you know you can't act right now. So yes, you're exactly. Okay.
All right.
Well,
next.
I mean, like we're
getting
flying through. We got
we're
a
getting
few
close
more
to
minutes
the end
left.
here.
Okay. This is gonna be the last question. How do I make more time for my passions? Okay. Good question.
Sometimes she does this.
Okay, whoa, okay. Oh, sacrifice. Oh, you have to sacrifice something that isn't that is something you don't actually want to do anymore, or a relationship that is not fulfilling to you anymore. You have to be willing to give something up and almost like leave a space for the new priorities that come in, okay? I think the space might be involuntarily created, almost like somebody leaves your life, and then I don't mean this in a scary way, but just like somebody pulls back because they're going through changes, and then all of a sudden there's like this open space, and you sacrifice that connection, but it allows you to deepen your passion or deepen your project that you're working on. I think that there needs to be a space that opens up, and the only way to get an open space is to walk away sometimes. What about you? Yeah, we could keep getting the tower, which is like almost like I usually think the tower is what comes in if you are unwilling to make the changes because you're afraid. So the universe is like, don't worry about it. I'll send a lightning bolt and ruin everything. It's okay. So it's like your exit strategy is waiting for something else to come in and give you an out. And that might be the only thing, because a lot of times this card shows up when we've done everything to try to escape a situation, or we're trying so hard to make time for our passions but it's just not working. And the universe is like, no dude, I'll do you a solid and I'll make sure that there's a space in your life for you to pursue your passions.
Yeah.
You might have to put something on hold that is no longer, or that is something that you will do later. It's like suspended action. I do see something like is on retainer, on hold, while you pursue your passions. That could be a friendship that is just kind of draining, or it could be another job that is like a part-time job, but it's not really fulfilling to you, and you don't even make that much money at it. There's a sacrifice you need to make. There's some kind of hole you need to open up.
There's something you need to say no to.
Yes.
Like somebody's asking a lot of you. Maybe you like do something extra after work or something that like you're not really obligated to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're at the end of our time. And I've got to say, if we did not get to your question, don't worry, we're still going to answer it. We're going to do this again next weekend.
Please ask more questions. Leave a name that you would like us to use on here so we can direct it more directly to you, so that we don't call anybody out. So just like Sleepless in Seattle, or
whatever name you want
Annie
us to
C.
call
I don't
us.
care, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so 2 questions that I want to answer in the comments. Can we pull a card for you? We can. If you send us your question in a DM, that's what we're answering right now.
Yeah.
We're answering questions that have been pulled or sent to us ahead of time, and we will definitely answer them.
We'll get to your question.
And another question in the DMs: can a Sagittarius and an Aquarius make it?
Oh my God! Yes, we can.
It's
us, lady.
If you are, listen, if you're cool and special like we are,
and you're chill and you don't worry about
don't
the
make
bullshit,
people do shit for you. Don't like worry if they like you and stuff.
No.
Like, I feel like, okay, there was another question about like, does my sign work with this sign? And I feel like the thing is, I feel like any sign, I'm maybe like speaking out of turn because you might disagree.
No, I don't disagree. I totally agree.
I feel like any sign can work together, and the thing is, if you like overthink it, worry, like expect too much, like don't expect people to be human, whatever. Like I don't know.
I'm a big fan of believing, and I'm a big fan of believing that there are lots of parts of us that are connected to another person, and astrology is just one of them. And that's just an idea that, you know, has come up to kind of explain human interactions, but there's lots of things connecting other people that have nothing to do with that.
Sometimes it's like unexplained, like what makes people work, and
or
like that's okay.
Or like a baby, what is it, like the baby cat that hangs out with like a chupacabra or like a capybara or whatever.
Oh my God, like a baby
I don't
cat
know.
and a baby bunny
Yeah, what
snuggling.
makes them hang out? I don't know, but they love each other. Whatever. You're good. And Aquarius and Sag are friends for life. Aqua Sag, high five forever.
It's a good match.
It's a good match. I approve.
So, with just a few seconds left, we would like to say thank you guys so much for sending in all your questions.
Mm-hmm.
We
appreciate it so much. Jinxies.
This is why it works. We love doing this.
We love it. Really we love Spell Sisters, and we love being able to answer your questions.
So, like, definitely think of this as a place where you can ask anything.
Safe.
We really
we will answer all
these
your questions.
We'll basically do these free readings like once a week now. We're gonna start doing this regularly. So tune in. Have a good weekend.
Spellsisters Hotline.
We love you. Yeah. The lines are open. Goodbye.
Bye.